What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Russell Hant Show. We have a very special episode that we're going to talk about fantasy drafts, which I love fantasy football. So when I heard fantasy drafts, I'm like, I'm in, definitely. So we have Kyla and Lauren here working with us on trying to figure this out. So I'm going to be like the student here, guys, and you're going to explain to me how it actually works. And then we'll talk about the players individual a little bit and get into more depth of what's happening in the game right now. So when you choose your Kylie, when you choose your team, what are you looking for? What is that thing that you have to have?
So I think that for me, I don't go for necessarily someone that's going to be great in competitions because they're going to create a target on themselves. Everybody always talks about if you win the competitions from the start that you're the big target. So I want someone that is going to bring it in the DR. So my captain on my team is Davon.
Okay, so you go for like more personality, more that's going
Yeah,
to
I
get
go for the
more PR.
personality.
How
Yeah,
about you,
because
Lauren?
I try to give myself a little bit of a balance, but I definitely go for the challenge beast. So in two of my drafts, I have Cody as my captain and I have Danny because Danny always seems to pull through on those physical competitions. So I kind of went the different route there for sure.
Well, I guess you can do a lot of different routes. You can almost play the long game as well. Because with me, I have Ian, so I'm thinking he can win competitions. He can have Dior time because he's pretty witty, and I think that he's going to go for it further in the game because he just doesn't have a threat about him, and he stays quiet. I've been watching some live feeds. You don't see him that much. Now that could be a danger to that as well, because uh, like Cody, he's thinking about putting people up. That's not really doing. That's not going to hurt anybody. That's not going to stir up too much. What's going on in the house? Like if he puts up Janelle and uh,
Kaser.
Tyler or Case or even yeah, those two right there. But if he actually went and then you put like right now, who's that? If he would put up two big ones, if he would put up Tyler, which he's not going to do, and he would put up Memphis or something, it would be like, okay, you stir in the pot, and he doesn't want to do that. It seems like he just wants to do what the house wants to do, and I don't play like that. The way I play, I know it's different. I know Big Brother is different than Survivor, but when I look at it, it's frustrating because I'm like, get out the people that you think are going to be gunning for you, or get out the strategic players that can put a plan together to get you out of the house, like Janelle,
well,
and go
I
ahead.
mean, I think he was going to go for Janelle and Kaser, but
Do you think he was? Do you think he really would
spoiler
do
alert,
that?
I think he was going to for sure put up Kaser, but and Kaser is completely on to him. He's got it nailed down who he's working with and
Yeah.
everything. And so it's a good idea as a fan. My 18-year-old self is yelling, "Don't go for Kaser." But strategically it would have made sense for him to, but now it definitely he seems to be going the
Well,
opposite
now
direction.
in the game, like the fantasy draft we have going on, I do have Cody. I'm playing two of them. I have Cody in both. Now I'm worried
Mhm.
because it's like, isn't Cody like in the top position at this point for a lot of
Yeah.
people?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about the first HOH, it's always the hardest because it does set the tone for the game. However, some people try and go big on their first HOH, whereas other people kind of just do something that's not going to stir up the house, which I think is the direction Cody's probably going to lean on, especially in an all-star season. You kind of want to target people that's not going to come after you if they're not the person evicted.
Yeah, and with me, with Cody, I'm worried now because I have him in my spot. I have him in a captain spot on one of them, and I'm worried because I see him aligning with Nicole, and then you have Janelle that's going to be after him. Casey's going to be after him. He's in trouble now because you
Mhm.
can't have Janelle after you and you just be okay. It just
Right.
can't. And then now Janelle's stirring everything up about outside the game stuff that's probably not going to be put into the game. But Janelle did something. Uh, Kylie, do we know exactly what? I mean, not Janelle. I'm sorry. Nicole did something and made it to where Derek isn't involved in the house. You know, he didn't get to go
Yeah,
to the house
so
because of something that, because it was confirmed now. It's confirmed because Janelle said that Dan told her that the reason Derek's not in the house is because of Nicole.
So the rumor that was going around preseason was that Nicole was in a group message with Dan and Derek, and I guess pre-gaming, and Dan and Derek were pre-gaming with everybody else, and Nicole must have ratted them out to production. But then I also have a hard time seeing production
That's
being
right.
like, we're not going to bring Dan and Derek on All Stars whenever they're
Right.
two of the biggest winners ever. But that's
I don't
what's
believe it.
apparently going on. But Derek tweeted and said that he's mad at Nicole.
Right. Right.
So there's
I feel
something.
like if they wanted to play, though, they would have had production would have had them on the season regardless, just because of how big their names are.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because there is some truth to that. Because Derek tweeted, and also Janelle said that Dan told her the reason Derek's not in the house is because of Nicole.
Mhm.
But I can tell you right now, one time at Ponderosa before the game started, Coach and Coach was like behind a bush, and he was like, Russell. Yeah, I didn't even know who he was, you know. And then I'm like, he's like, Kelly. So I go over there, and then we behind a tree in this bush where nobody could see us. And then the cliff was right there. So there was nobody on that side. It was just the water, and this side was behind the bush. So we thought we were fine. So he's like, yeah, I got pregame alliances with this person, and I'm thinking in my mind, this guy's telling me, laying everything down for me right now, to me. You know, he don't even know who I am, and he's laying it down for Russell Hantz. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was like a James Bond movie. Here comes a helicopter, and then it stops right on me, and it hovers right with me and Coach, and then somebody does this. And then Coach is like, "Oh shit, we in trouble, man!" And I'm like, "Do you seriously think they're gonna kick you and I off of this season?
Right.
It's not gonna happen, man." So you're right when you say, "How in the world would they kick Dan and Derek out?" They're too popular. Both of them are too much.
Right.
So I don't know. There is truth to it, and I'd like to find out. Do they keep cutting the feeds when she tries to say what's up, or she says she doesn't know what's up? Right?
I didn't hear that Janelle said that Dan had told her that, but I'm hoping maybe Nicole will talk about it. But I was watching the episode back, and they said that I can't remember who was talking. Danny was talking to Nicole, and she said, "I'm surprised that Dan and Derek aren't here." And she said, "I'm happy," or something under her breath. And so you need to go back and catch it on the first episode. I'm like,
she's
oh well.
something else. Nicole is something else. The things that she's saying, I'm like, what? She said that she never cries in the house.
And she's an emotional roller coaster. An emotional roller coaster.
She's already been crying.
And
yeah.
And then she said that Raleigh is not an all-star. So I text Rachel, and I said, "Hey, Rachel, would you like to come on my show?" She says, "Definitely." So Rachel's coming on the show to talk about Nicole in the house. We have Cliff coming on the show. We have McCrae. We're lining them up. We have a new show called Surviving Big Brother. It's going to be me and a previous guest of Big Brother once a week after the live finale. Will be right after the live finale. We'll go on live, talk about Big Brother. But let's get into this draft. So who is the least amount that you would say do not pick this person? Both of you. First with, go ahead, Kylie.
So the person that I would not pick would, in my opinion, be Tyler. I feel like since the recency bias of him playing not that long ago and everybody knowing his game, I think he's going to have a huge target on him.
Okay. That's crazy because and now he's trying to align with who's he trying to align with?
Well, he made the
comment.
He's talking with Cody.
He made that comment about he wrote too many checks that he couldn't cash, and he's doing the same thing. He's got a ride or die with David, Cody, Davon, and
he's trying to get in good with too many people one-on-one for like a final 2 already. So
Yeah.
he's definitely putting a target on his back right away for sure.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing that he did.
Isn't Nicole playing the same way too? The only difference between Nicole F's gameplay now and then, she's not going to be able to make out with the person that she's actually aligned to. So when and hey, that's her gameplay. It's how she plays the game, and what I think it is the reason she's so emotional right now is she doesn't have that shoulder to lean on. She doesn't have that person that she's always had every time she's played. Now she's going to be alone. And I seriously don't know if she's going to make it. Like it's day 2, and then Nicole F is crying like crazy, uncontrollably several times on the live feeds. And it's day 2. Day 2.
She always has the showmance, and this time around she's not going to have it, so she doesn't have that comfort with her the entire time.
And that's for her, she needs that. Like for her personality, she needs that type of. It's going to be super interesting to see how she controls her emotions, if she can, and can she get it together to actually be worthy to put on your list in a fantasy draft. I mean, would you have the guts to put Nicole on your fantasy draft list?
My husband took her, and we argued about it because he's like, I'm going to take Nicole. I said, please don't do it. There's all this pregame stuff going on with her, and it's going to spill over into the house. Please don't take Nicole F. But he did, so we'll see.
What does he think's going to happen? Does he think maybe she can win some challenges and get him some points in confessionals?
Yeah, I mean, it does seem that she always gets a fair amount of confessionals. She's funny, she's witty, she does win some competitions. Even though she doesn't have the showman, she does seem to be setting herself up with a group of guys. Like that's her MO, and that's what she's going to do again.
Okay. What do you think about Nicole being on your list, Lauren?
Oh, I didn't have her in any of my drafts, just simply because I think, like I said earlier, she's such an emotional roller coaster up and down, and she doesn't have that person that's going to be able to comfort her this season, that's going to bring her back to a normal level where she can fully think strategically. So I personally think she's going to struggle big time because she's going to reach that emotional point where she's not going to be able to recover, because I don't think she has that person that's going to be able to get her through.
Yep. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. She's going to break down. I can see her leaving. I can see her leaving the house. I don't think she will. She's a legend. She's a legend of the game, whether you like her or not. She's a legend of the game. Production made her a legend, but she is nonetheless. And I would hate to see her walk off, but she's going to be a wreck. Not even an emotional roller coaster, just straight emotion. The whole she got 90 days. Day 2, she can't
88 more days.
It's crazy.
I don't know.
So with Nicole, it's crazy how many people dislike her. Like more people dislike Nicole than Russell Hantz. It's insane.
She's
I'm like,
very polarizing.
And another thing that surprised me, we'll go on to the next name, is Christmas. A lot of people dislike Christmas as well. Like, why do they dislike Christmas? She doesn't have the annoying voice. She doesn't have the showmances and all that stuff. She doesn't do any of that. How come Christmas is not liked? Because she's my favorite, by the way.
I think here's the thing with Christmas and kind of why I think people don't like her as much. I would say the first time she played, she was just kind of there. And I get because she got injured and everything. And I think that it was a huge issue with her game because she wanted to be that challenge beast. And she really couldn't be that once she did get injured. But I just feel like she really didn't do much her first season, that she made any type of huge moves to get her where she got. I think she was kind of dragged along with the alliance members that she was with.
Do you think that it could be people are upset that she's even in the house because she's not an all-star? So
no, she's not an all-star.
Yeah, when you see that, sometimes that could tick you off. Well, they have a few that's not. Bailey's not an all-star. This is an all-star. Who else do you guys consider this?
David.
Is she an all-star?
David is
David's not
David.
an all-star. I mean, we haven't even gotten to see him play.
right. And I think David could struggle for
Wow.
sure this season only because no one knows what type of game he's capable of playing. So he could be someone that's easy to get out. We don't know anything about this guy, so why don't we just get rid of him so we don't have to worry about him in the future? He could be an easy target early on in the season for sure. I think with David, he's either going to go early or he's going to go far. So he's going to be someone that's going to be interesting to watch for sure.
Yeah. If David probably can squeak by for the first couple of votes, you're right. He could probably, because things are going to explode in the House. And if he can squeak by until that happens, he could get a little further in the game.
Because they might not see him as threatening or anything after that. If he just kind of coasts by, they're going to go after the huge targets at that point for sure.
I couldn't help, but I just wanted David to become the Francesca of Big Brother and get voted out twice, the first person. So that's a little wrong to think that, but
that might happen. David's name is going around that he's going to be one of the ones on the block. So that's a definitely possibility. So
what I
let's
will
move on.
say about David, though, real quick, is he did, even though he was the first person eliminated, he did have good reads on people and who was aligned with who. So I think he has good awareness of what's going on. Just it's going to be, is he going to be able to execute that?
Right.
Okay, and I don't think that he was a fan of the show, so I don't think he's seen a lot of seasons because I've heard him asking questions because this is even going to be his first nomination ceremony. He never even made it to that point. So I think it's going to be interesting.
And it doesn't seem like he's fighting too hard. Maybe he's trying to stay. And this is, again, this is the type when it's bad to stay on the down low. David's an easy out. I think he needs to do a lot more working than the others have to do because he's an easy out. And he should know that. Ian, on the other hand, he's laying low as well. So, but he's not as much as an easy out, even though I think Ian's just a huge threat in that game. And if they let Ian stay in there too long, before you know it, he'll be sitting in that final two. And then they'll say, what just happened? What just happened? But let's go ahead and move on to Danielle. What do you guys think about her?
She's legendary, so I'm super excited to see her back in the house. I didn't think after becoming a mom we would see her again, so I'm really pumped that she's in.
She could get you some points. That's one that could get you. Would you consider putting her as a captain?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, because she can win comps. She also will get diary room, confessionals. She is an all-around beast, and she's one of my favorites for sure. I think her issue could be is sometimes she ends up targeting people too quickly and then has to kind of be back in the defense mode and play from the bottom a little bit. So I think her biggest thing is she needs to lay low a little bit and try and coast through these first couple ones before trying to make a huge move or anything.
Yeah. Right.
I think it's a little interesting because Danny comes in and you think that she's automatically going to work with the old school people, but she definitely seems to be going with Nicole, Franzel, and Cody and some of the other guys. And it's kind of like what she did on the season that she returned, where she didn't stay with the returners. She went with the newbies, and we see where that got her.
Yeah, jumping the gun a little too quickly.
Yeah, so I feel like she's kind of isolating Janelle and Kaser and Keisha, and that could be a group that she could have worked with just based on how early she played, and she's kind of blowing it there.
Yeah, she could definitely do well, but again, it's who they're working with. I think that if Cody just puts up the easy to go home, it's going to bite him in the butt. Because too many people are starting to work together that's going to be going after him. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But let's get back to Christmas. Do you guys think that she would be a fair person to put as a captain spot?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, she's going to win some comps.
Yeah, that part's true, but I don't
might.
think she can kind of lead in the diary room at all. I don't think she'll get as much airtime in that aspect, but I do think she is definitely a comp beast. So if you're looking for challenges, yes, Christmas would be a good person to pick, but if you're looking for someone that can kind of narrate and explain the season, no.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because she even said that she's ready to prove that she's a challenge beast. Because we really didn't get to see as much as we wanted to because she broke her foot. Go ahead.
Well, but I feel like there's been times before, though, where you've seen super athletic guys and super athletic girls, and they come in and then they're just kind of disappointing. And so since Christmas hasn't gotten to prove herself, I'm not willing to put her up there as being a comp beast. She's got to prove herself.
It could be like a long shot. You could be like, I'm gonna go with this because I have her in mind. I have her in my lineup.
I would say in our draft, which we've got a little over 200 people playing, that she has Christmas and Cody were the top 2 people picked, which is very surprising.
Well, I kind of see it because the comps, they think that she's going to win comps. And, they think that she's going to float. Is she going to play strategically? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So
I think she's someone that people would maybe want to take her to the end. I think, like I said earlier, she's someone that's going to float and not really. I don't see her making a big, huge strategic move in the game. I just don't see it happening from her.
No, I don't think that's going to. I just don't think that's going to happen either. Yeah. So we talked about. What kind of talking about him? You said that you wouldn't put him up there, but there's a lot of people have Tyler in the captain spot.
Yes, I would say.
Or do you think that
Tyler?
You think he's in trouble pretty fast, Tyler?
I think so. I think just because of the recency bias with him just playing 2 seasons ago and having such a dominant game, I feel like as soon as somebody from the other side of the house gets in power, Tyler's gone.
Yeah. Okay, before we move on with any more, I want to know, and I'm gonna write it down. Like, let me know some of the scales, like how do you get your points? How do you guys even control that? Do you go each season and like if they cry, I've seen you get -1. Nicole probably has -10 by now, but so if they cry, they get minus points and this and that. What is the scale?
So in the draft that I do, we have stuff for showmances, which
that's
probably
not
going to see this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen. But even little things like celebrating in the storage room, you always see them jumping around, and so that's just a fun little way to earn points. But
does it have to be on live? Or, I mean, it has to be on the episode.
Only things shown on the episode, nothing from the live feeds.
Okay.
So Nicole may be okay. She may not. They may not show how many times she cries.
They're going to show a couple.
They're going to show. They show it. Oh, they show
montage.
It. They're showing it this time. Well, because this episode is going to be so. I don't know if you want to call it boring, but unless something big happens, right now the live feeds just seem like it's just kind of like, yeah, of course that's going to happen. So because of that, I think we'll see Nicole cry a few times. So whoever has Nicole is going to get some negative points for sure. What if they? So each person, if they get voted out, then you're pretty much done. If they get voted out this early, you have 4
not
people.
Necessarily. Yeah, you got 4 people. So I mean, if you lose your captain, you're done, pretty much.
Yeah.
But if you can hang on to 2 or 3 people and one of them being your captain late into the game, then you've got a real good chance. So.
Okay. Yeah. So. I'm just upset with Cody and what he's doing. He's trying to play it safe, and playing it safe isn't always the best. But you're right. He was going to go after some big ones right off the bat. But would he have pulled the trigger? Would he have really done that?
I think that he would have done Kaser and then probably still Keisha, which I think would have been a mistake. I think if you're going to go for Kaser, then you put Janelle up too. If you're going to take a swing, you need to make sure you hit somebody.
Yeah, you got to put them both up every single time, because we see way too many times if they put up one person and then someone that's supposed to be a pawn pawns go home so many different times in the game. So if you're going to swing, you better swing big.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get one of them, they're both coming for you the next time.
Yeah.
Because you can't win HOH 2 weeks in a row.
Right. Okay, so we talked about Ian. Kevin's an interesting one. I'm not seeing him doing too much right now when it comes to strategic play. Have you guys seen anything?
No, I haven't seen anything strategically from him. He seems to just kind of be laying low, and Kaser's pinned him as a floater, and that he thinks he's going to play
Already?
both sides. Yeah, and so Kaser's kind of got it laid out with everybody where he sees everyone lining up, and I think that he's right with Kevin in that he is going to kind of play the middle, but I've got 2 teams, and Kevin is the captain on one of my teams. Just his original season, he was so funny, and he's got great DRs, and he was one question away from winning the game because
Right.
he would have gotten the jury votes. So I think that I was excited to see him, but he's not doing anything so far.
Well, I was that close to putting Kevin in mine because I could see him. I'm not so sure about the floater thing, but he's going to do something. He's going to get something together.
Yeah.
This house isn't going to like floaters. They're not going to respect it. The 2 people that we think are up right now is Keisha and David, right? We think that may be the ones that's put up, and both of them aren't really. You can if you want to say, oh, these are floaters on day 2, you can say those 2 are floaters as well. So I think the easy outs are the floaters. I just don't see that happening this season.
He nominated Keisha and Kevin.
Oh, so that's done.
Yeah.
Golly.
I think Kevin will be okay, though, just because of how likable he is. And that was his biggest strength, is the likability factor that he provided. So I'm not worried about Kevin. I think personally, unless they choose to backdoor someone, Keisha's probably toast.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so easy. It's just an easy out. I mean, if you look at the list, you're like, oh, yeah, Keisha, okay. Just get rid of her. Nothing bad's going to happen. But now I think people are going to – Cody tried to do things easy, and I think all that's going to backfire. And I think that Janelle is going to get him before he gets her. And I don't like Janelle. So – it's she's one of the ones I don't like, but even that you got to give respect where respect's due, and I think that she's going to get the best of Cody. And I have him in my captain spot on one of them, making bad decisions already. All right, so what you guys think about Enzo?
Oh, Enzo, he's hilarious. I will say he is in way better shape this time for this game than he was the first time he played. So he actually might win competitions, because in BB12 he did nothing in terms of comps. But this time he might. He's in really good shape in comparison to the last time.
Yeah,
but he's also 10 years older.
But see, that's the thing. He is older, but he just looks in so much better shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if being older. I mean, he ain't old enough for it to matter. I don't think. Not in this competition. You talking? If you get in my world, in the Survivor world, running around the beach, picking up big old 300-pound bales and bringing it, dropping it, and going, that type of thing, then you'll see it. But he said he's in the best shape of his life, right? He's the one that said that. Mm-hmm. And we've seen him on top of his house. So he was able to climb up there. So if he can climb up on his house, he can do any competition in the world of Big Brother.
That's great. I worry for Enzo that he's going to overestimate himself a little bit. I really enjoy Enzo as a character, but strategically, I think he's going to give himself too much credit from his previous season, and he might be a little outmatched.
I definitely think he's someone that bros down as well. He doesn't seem like someone that's going to try and work with any of the girls in the house, but we'll see if that's something that he was able to change for this game.
Yeah.
So do you think that the guys will start thinking, okay, let's get rid of dealing with get rid of a female because we want to make sure we always have the majority. Look at the names. A lot of them broke down. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I mean,
Could
I
you
think
see
that
that?
the women could definitely be in trouble.
Yeah, because you have
yeah, because
Tyler.
I don't see. I mean, Tyler, Cody, Memphis. If you're looking at all those players, Enzo, they all worked with guys on their seasons.
Mm-hmm. Nicole. I don't think it really going to matter because Nicole, you got Nicole in there. She's definitely working with the guys. For some reason, she doesn't like the females. I don't know why, but like Rachel Raleigh, she doesn't like her. She's mouthing off about other females in the house, and I don't know if you guys seen this, but I don't have it in front of me. But Rachel Raleigh sent somebody a message, and then that person put it out there saying that she lied to me. She did this. She did this. She did this. So she doesn't like females. Yeah. So she might as well be a male in the house of Big Brother. So if they do an all guy alliance, she would be involved in that. And that doesn't bother me, to tell you the truth. With that girl thing, that all girl alliance in Survivor, even I had 5 girls with me in Heroes and Villains, and I was saying, I don't care. I mean, let's go. Just put me at number 6. You want me at the bottom of your alliance, and there's 20 people there. You want me at number 6? Put me at number 6. I'm happy. I'm happy to be number 6. But they ain't gonna know it. But I'll be climbing up that ladder as fast as they don't even know that it's happening by the time it happens. But yeah, put me at number 6. I'll take it. So Nicole, I don't know if she can climb up that ladder because I'm not sure if she's that kind of strategic player. Yeah. Seems like she has someone always doing the work for her. And she just doesn't seem – she's going to get right behind them like a Natalie White. She's going to get right behind everybody and just let them do the work. So, Enzo, okay, we talked about Janelle. Let's talk about Bailey. What do you guys think about Bailey?
You can go first, Lauren. What do you think about Bailey?
I do like Bailey. And I think from her time on the challenge, playing that recently, I think that's going to be helpful for her Big Brother game just because she's someone that could be a challenge beast, but I also think she needs to make sure that she doesn't get too hot in the game of Big Brother because that can definitely make her in trouble. But I think she's going to tone it down a little bit. She's smart. She is super smart. So I think if she gets in with a good group of people, she could definitely be the leader of that group.
Yeah, I think she's interesting. I think she is smart. I think she can be good at competitions. I think she could have a good social game, but I just feel like that ticking time bomb is just there because you've seen it on 2 shows now where she's gone off on Tyler and Casey. And so I just feel like history's going to repeat itself. It's just a matter of time.
Tell. When she's talking, you can tell. If you can read people, she's talking, she's playing the game every single time she's talking. Like she's trying to play that social game. She's trying to do what she can do to get further in the game. You could see it because you're right. She is going to explode, and we're going to see. There's no possible way she's going to allow someone to stab her in the back, and it's going to happen. It happens to all of them without going off. I mean, one season she was so pissed off she was bleeding from the mouth. Like she was like screaming and hollering. I never even got that mad before. It's like she biting her own face.
Well, she's able to change that though. She gets blindsided when one of her alliance members goes home, and she remains very calm.
Right? No, you're right.
Could help her.
If she tones it down and she doesn't do what everybody expected, it could help her for sure. But do you see her doing that, Lauren? Do you think would you put money on it?
I don't think so, but if she's able to pull it off, hats off to her.
Yeah, because we've seen it happen with Tony, kind of down his game to a different type of style. People think that I can't play differently. If I went and played Survivor, they think, oh, he's in trouble. And just what you just said, if Russell can tone it down a little bit, then he would have a way better shot. I hear that all the time. In my mind, I'm like, I don't know if I can. So that's how I have to be there. So she probably thinks that same thing. And she probably says, I need to focus. I need to be calm because this is a marathon, not a sprint. So I need to I can see her doing that right now. She is trying that gameplay and trying to ease her way into being a different person, a likable person. But can she do it for 90 days? That would be super. I would be more impressed if she did that and wins this game than I was with Tony winning Survivor.
Wow.
I would be so impressed if this girl tones it down, becomes a totally different person in that, just when she's mad, to be able to get within herself and just stay calm. That's super, super hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
For someone like me, for someone like Tony, someone like her, it's just hard. It's not easy. We speak our mind. When someone does something, we like to say, let them know that we're not happy about it. And that's just the type of people we are. So if she does that, that would be shockingly impressive.
Yeah, for sure. I think she's got the smarts. I think she's got the athletic ability. I just don't know. I don't know if she can do it. I'm worried for her because she literally did the exact same thing on her second show. So we'll see.
But it's a different show too. It's a 90 days. I mean, I know I've never watched a challenge. I don't really know the in depth of it, but I know Big Brother is way more when it comes to an emotional, social type experiment where you have to get within yourself and become a different person. You can't speak out loud. Can't do none of those type of things. So maybe it's just because it was MTV. I mean, MTV. If I played MTV, I'd be fighting people, and then they'd have me back, but just because I did that. It's a different network that allows different types of situation to happen. If Willie was on MTV, he'd be a superstar, but he was on Big Brother, he gets kicked off. So now we have Nicole Anthony. It's very interesting, Nicole Anthony. She wins the first challenge to have that, she shows that she can do it, wins, be a winner at something. Then she, steps off the wobbling things. But she's very interesting. That's a very interesting one for me, Nicole Anthony. What you guys think?
She's going to be someone that I don't think you're going to get a full read on until you see the season progress. I don't see her as someone that's going to be in trouble early. She definitely has to find her core group of people to be able to work with and make sure she doesn't get outcasted. So her biggest thing is finding people that she can trust and that she can work with throughout the season, because she definitely has to have that group of people to help her get through.
Right. Yeah. What do you think, Holly?
I'd really like to see her team up with Ian. I think that they play a really similar game and that they're both very smart. They kind of give off the same vibe. So I think that could be an interesting duo.
Yeah. I mean, how did she play? I didn't watch her season. Was she a floater? Would you call her a floater? Did she play strategically at any times?
That season was so awful that it's hard to say, because there was such a large majority alliance at the beginning of the season, and they physically locked her out of the HOH room and ostracized her. So,
are you serious?
Yeah, she was definitely out. She was outcasted almost immediately in that season.
Well, I seen, who was it? Memphis? Not Memphis. Was it one? It was Kaysar.
Kaysar was talking to her about he didn't like the way people were treating her on the season.
And I wasn't aware of what happened. So they were treating her like a outcast. Like, was she a bad person? Like, was she mean? That's why they was treating her like that? Or?
No, they were mean. They were awful.
Yeah, they were very mean to her. She has a mean bone in her body.
Right.
Why would they do that? I mean, that's
Because
messed up.
they had their alliance and they weren't going to let anyone else in the alliance, and they thought they were going to be able to run the whole thing.
And theirs went past the game though, so I think that's why BB21 has such a bad rep, because it wasn't just game stuff. It wasn't that, well, you're not in our alliance, so we're not going to work with you, but we can still have a civilized conversation in the HOH room. And so,
okay, what's worse, BB21 or BB15?
Oh, I'm still going to say BB15 for me.
Gosh, BB15 was really bad.
That was bad.
Right.
BB21 was really bad too.
That's one of the ones when I've actually watched the whole season. I was like, that's when I started watching them.
Oh, and, that's a terrible season to start.
I was like, dang, they allow all that to go on? I mean, these girls are mean.
Yeah,
like,
they were mean. But they were that same level of mean, but you did have a few bright spots from BB21, like Nicole and Cliff and Kat, so it does make it a little more enjoyable.
Yeah, Cliff is coming on the show next week at the our first eviction episode was surviving Big Brother. So yeah, that's me. She doesn't seem like the type of person. I don't see, when people do that, you see who they really are. Like, I would never do that. Never would I do that to someone. I couldn't do it. It's not in me to do that. And when someone does that in that type of situation, that's who that person is in real life. You can see that was the person at the popular tables. That was the person that shunned other people away because they didn't like the way they were smart kids or whatever else. They were the athletes that like to push everybody to the side. And I'm not for that at all. I hate that. I wasn't that person. I never will be that person. And that's a shame because Nicole just seems so nice. She seems like, how could you be nice, mean to her? Right. But I used to think that Nicole F was a sweet girl too. That was season 1. The first time she played. Oh, she's a sweet girl. And then it's like, what is she doing?
Well, you see that a lot of the times with people when they come back for the second time. They can be a fan favorite of people, and then the second time they play, people do not like them anymore.
Right. So now we have, we talked a little bit about these, Kaser. It seems like that he's trying to play too hard at this point. And I don't know if that's good or bad for someone like him. What do you guys think?
So Kaser is my favorite Big Brother player ever. So I am so excited to see him, and I was so worried for him whenever Cody sounded like he was going to target him. And I agree that he's probably playing a little too hard, but I don't know if his Big Brother mind is able to do anything but that.
Right. Yeah, but 2 days into the game, these guys, they're going to go crazy. They're going to be mush. The brains are going to be mush by the time they're out of there. What do you see him as I'm assuming you have him as your captain?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Is he on your team?
He's on my team, but I don't have him as my captain because he has, the same things happened to him on both of his previous seasons where he's easily targeted for having the strong alliance, being very, very smart, and having his finger on the pulse of what's going on. So I'm worried for him, but I love him.
Yeah, I think he needs to dumb it down a little bit. Because everybody's saying, oh, he's so smart. He knows what's happening. He knows what to say. It's so intuitive. I don't know. He's playing like he's always played, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you seen anybody out, and which is surprising, Lauren, is the person that we're seeing at this point that's actually changing their game is Bailey. At this point, she is the one that's doing that. Every single person, other than someone like David, that's we're not really seeing much. Who's the other one that's nominated?
Kevin and Keisha.
Kevin and Keisha, yeah.
Keisha, she's not really doing much, so we're not really seeing any style. Christmas is playing the same. Nicole's playing the same. Ian's playing exactly the same. Ian did the exact same thing this season. Playing that role exactly. So other than Bailey, everybody's just doing the same. So that's what I'm saying. If Bailey does pull this off, it would be impressive. I'm gonna clip this and then replay it if she does win. Make me sound like
you're gonna be like, see, I called it.
No, actually, Lauren made me think about it more. So she actually called it. But so now we have Cody. Cody is yes, he's on the top of the leaderboard right now. I'm sure when it comes to the fantasy draft with Big Brother players. I think that he's going to drop fast because of how he's. I have him in both of mine. I don't want him to drop fast, but when you start targeting Janelle and she finds out, she's coming for you without you even knowing it. He's not a good enough player strategically to handle Janelle strategically. I just don't think she can. What do you guys think?
That's what happens in Big Brother, because one side of the house can win HOH one week and then the next week the other side gets control. So it's all about, can your side keep control of the game and not let that other side get that HOH win? So that's the biggest thing it depends on, because I personally think Kaser and Janelle are never going to be working with Cody. So it's kind of going to be whoever Cody's people are and then whoever Janelle and Kaser's people are.
Yeah, and also Nicole is working with Cody now. So that the lines are drawn already. And they know it. They may not say it. That's why I'm shocked with his picks, with Cody's picks. He knows the lines are drawn. So why don't he go for someone else that he may think that, because, he may think that they're working with, someone that Janelle may be working with, someone he sees her talking to, or maybe even Bailey, because those two in it. If he goes for Bailey, I think Bailey is now working with Janelle. So I don't know.
All I want from a Big Brother season, though, is the two opposite sides of the house. Those are the best ones. I hate seeing everybody vote for the same person and it being a unanimous vote out. I want to see it split. And that's what made BB20 so great, was because you did have Tyler's side and Bailey's side of the house, and having those two divisions makes great television. So I'm here for
not heading in that direction at this point. Right now, I mean, yes, it is. I mean, people are getting split. You're right; they're getting split. But Cody's vote doesn't help him at all.
Right. They may not know that it's split, but it's split. And when Janelle's group gets into power, they're going to realize that there are two sides of the house.
I mean, because someone like Keisha is someone that he could have aligned with. Why do you get rid of people that you could actually work with?
Like, I don't even know if she talked to him, though, really that much.
He didn't talk to her. He's sitting up in his DR room like he's a king of the hill. Like, sometimes you have to get down there amongst the peasants and talk with them as well. And he didn't do that. He thinks everybody's going to, that's what he said. Everybody's coming in the room. Everybody's trying to work with him. Why ain't he, because like I know he could have worked with Keisha, but now let's get rid of someone I can actually work with. And, then once this, I can't wait to the next one. I don't think it's going to last long. The next one is going to be pretty exciting. This kumbaya that we're seeing, that's going out the window with the next two that's getting put up.
Yeah, on the first vote, I think everyone might vote the same direction potentially, but after that, lines are going to be drawn based on who wins that next HOH.
If they keep David, and I think they're right, I think you said that, Lauren, and get rid of Keisha, everybody would vote her, everything's fine, it's a happy household, then David is going to start doing some things. He can't just sit there and go home. Can't just, just take it. So I don't know. I think that David's in trouble. Right now he's in trouble, but I think he'll be okay. Yeah. You guys think you think that it's going to be Keisha?
I think if she doesn't win the POV that she's out for sure.
Okay, if she wins,
unless she does some talking, then
if one of them win
Mhm.
And take themselves off, who goes up?
Well, that's something where you try and that's where Cody could make a move if he thinks he has the numbers to take someone big out that he knows is not going to be working with him.
Who would it be though? Because I feel like
Right.
those two big ones are safe. So
Right.
I don't know who he's going to be able to go for. I mean, he feels pretty good with all of the guys, so I see it being a girl.
His best move would be Bailey, because he doesn't even know it. He doesn't know that Bailey and Janelle have an alliance, but that would be his move because they have an alliance, and that's one of Janelle's numbers. If he could find that out, which I don't think he will this early.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, okay, what about old Memphis? I have Memphis. I took Memphis. Remember, I put Memphis in my draft. Somebody had my exact same draft, exact same as the King, and I had to say, who did I take down? Who did I take down?
You took down
who
did you
it
have
was?
one of the Nicoles?
Oh no.
Not Nicole Franzel. I thought you had Nicole Anthony.
No, I don't think I had her either. Let me see. I got it right here. I had. Oh no, this is a Ian, Memphis, Christmas, and Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to take down. Oh
you
no,
took
I
down
had
Janelle.
I had Danny. No, I had Danny.
Danny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you put sub Danny for Memphis.
Yeah.
Which I didn't want to do. I'm like, I don't want to do that. No. Make them change. I said, make them change.
You should have subbed Christmas, I'm telling you.
I don't know. I think you're going to see Christmas win some comps. And she's going to float her way to the top and get me some points.
And then be a 0 vote finalist.
she might could break her leg again and get some more.
I was very, very worried when she was running over the little star pegs in that first competition. I was like, this is it. She's going to break her ankle again on premiere night, and she's going to be done. And so if I were her, I would have been like, I'm not going to take this HOH. I'm not even going to try to run across these wobbly things.
It's crazy how she was able to even do that with her, her leg broke in like 11 places. It seems like you couldn't bounce around anymore like that on it, but be scared to do that. But she did.
She recovered well, it looks like.
Yeah. Okay, and now we have David. Our last one is David. What you guys think? You think he has a shot? I don't think he'll be going home, but would you put him on your list? No, David.
I just wouldn't, just because you don't know, you don't have anything really to go off of in terms of David. So we never got to see him play.
We don't know if he could be an amazing strategic mind that we just don't know, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you saw a little bit on his season. On his season, you saw a little bit of him being strategic in the sense of he kind of knew what direction people were in the house and who was working with who and everything. So he did have a good read, but he wasn't in the game when that was occurring.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, guys. Well, that's the list.
The biggest wild card, so.
Yeah, right. That's our list. That is the Big Brother fantasy draft that I'm playing in 2 different games. I don't know. I think it's over. I don't think you can play it now, right? Nobody's.
Right.
They're all closed. So they're all closed. So if you did it, this is my first year doing it. I think it's almost just like football or whatever else. But if I play Survivor again, just let me see you, and then we could be a ringer, and you split the money with me.
That sounds great. and then you win and split the money with us.
Right. I'll be like, wait, I got to go find some food because so and so has some points on me. Let me find go kill a chicken or something.
Yeah, I need to catch some fish and.
can't cry. That's minus points. No crying.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to remember that. I'm gonna write down a
Yeah.
list. It's gonna be on
Yep.
my
Keep
loved
it in
one.
mind.
My loved ones. I mean, my luxury item is gonna be a list of the things that I have to get points with.
Let me remember what I can score points for in Fantasy Survivor.
Right.
That's
All right,
important.
guys. We'll appreciate you guys on. We're doing 3 shows a week, 2 without me, and we're doing a contest right now and trying to get other people that's very knowledgeable with Big Brother to have the first 2 parts. When is the live show? The live show's on a what? What day?
Thursdays.
Sunday. So it's Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, correct?
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
And Thursdays is the live finale. I'll be doing the live finale with my new show, Surviving Big Brother, always with a previous guest. The show's on Wednesdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays. It's going to be just Big Brother fans, or even you two guys, be very knowledgeable about it, to talk about the previous episode and what's going on. I also would like to have someone talk about the live feeds. Maybe 15, 20 minutes of the day, go on there and talk to the live feeds. So we'll put a post on the YouTube channel to try to drum up people that's knowledgeable. So if you two are interested, let Denise know and we'll go from there. Because we like to get people that know Big Brother and go forward. I think it's going to be a fun season, very interesting. I'm very excited to see how this goes. I'm not excited to hear the first 2 that's put on the blog because it's I could have wrote that in myself and just sent it to them, and then that's it. It's like it's not a surprising thing. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And I think after this episode, it'll get way better to where because lines are being drawn now. The house they know it. They're not getting too excited. So I'm watching the live feeds. Live feeds start in a little bit, right? 12 o'clock or so. Come back
They're
up.
they're back on now from the nomination
Oh, okay.
ceremony.
So live
They're
feeds are
going.
up. Go check it out. And until next time, guys, we appreciate you guys watching. You haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I know that Survivor fans out there are like, what the hell Russell's doing? But this is what we're doing. We're trying to develop an audience. It's going to take a little while for that. I get it. It may take a whole season, but I'm not going to give up with it. We're going to keep going forward with Big Brother Talk. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Until next time, keep hope alive.